Hello, my little glowstones. It is Glowstone here, and welcome to a newer kind of video. Uh, Today is the first episode of a podcast that I am having with my co-host of sorts, I guess you could say. And this is Project 42. 42 comes from the book and movie Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they figure out that the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. So I bring forth a podcast where we talk about life, the universe, and everything. You mind introducing yourself, Gary?
Yeah. So I am Gary. I am the co-host of this podcast, and I'm about to drop incredible knowledge that nobody's ever heard before.
And never will again.
Never.
So Gary, how's life been?
How's life?
Yeah.
You know, every day I try to wake up and ball like Curry. So, at the end of the day, we make money. And the more money you make, the better things are.
That is the play.
So, that's how life is. It's time to make
good.
money.
Soon, my dear boy.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna start us off with the first question, which ends up being mine. Gary, recently, Spider-Man 1 through 3 of the Raimiverse has re-entered movie theaters, and it got me wondering, Gary, what's your top 3 movies of all time? Any genre.
What are my top three movies of all time of any genre?
Any genre.
I'm gonna have to think about this for a little bit, but I'd say most of my movie takes, some of them I think I have to give number one, like all time, my favorite thing that I ever watched was like, well, I guess it's 1 and 2 between the Infinity War sagas for Marvel, just because of the timing where I grew up watching the MCU develop.
Right.
I was the prime age for all of it.
Agreed.
And then it came to a complete conclusion at just about the right time that I was like, a teenager at the time.
Right.
So I think those two go in as 1 and 2.
That's
and
fair.
Then,
it's a part 1 and part 2. Yeah. Well,
yeah, and I
too.
think theater experience also plays into that. Like,
for sure.
Like the fact that it was just like an actual event that like
right.
I remember showing up to the theaters and literally all of them were playing Infinity War. Like every single theater, like every single screening, every single booth, all of them.
Well, and with Endgame too, you were witnessing history, a movie that outrun Avatar, outrun Titanic, like all the big hitters.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. This is one of the biggest like movie like franchises.
Right.
And like series. I don't know. It was so I gotta put those 1 and 2 just because of all of the previously stated factors. But for that number 3 slot, I would say I'd put Rush Hour in there.
Really?
Rush Hour. It's a great movie. Rush Hour is a great movie, and I think they should have made more. That, or they should try to like revamp the series with younger actors. I think we need another Rush Hour movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it would be healing for the world.
That's what the world needs right now, with all this uncertainty and everything. No matter where you live.
Another Rush Hour.
Yeah.
We need another Rush Hour. I need them to spit it out, bro. I don't care who they need to hire. I don't care who they need to fire. Get another one out there.
Yeah. For my top 3, I got number 1, I got Logan. Now, it's hard because 1 and 2 always keep switching who's first place, who's second. But I feel like I have to put Logan in first place for a very similar reason as to why you said Endgame and everything. For the fact of it's a great conclusion and everything. Now, with the power of hindsight, he's back in Deadpool, but even then, I kind of feel like Deadpool kind of enhances that.
That's fair. That's fair.
And it's one of those movies where it's a little bit of a biased, where it's my favorite genre of movie, where it's the last gunslinger, like a Western style movie, where it's like, he was retired, like he's out of the game, but they rope him back in.
Of course.
Yeah, and like just the way that they go about it, the emotion that comes along with it, and at the time, like you're sitting there going, wow, this could be the last time we see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Second place, I got Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
Yeah, because it fits all the boxes of what makes a good movie, where it's like there's no character that you meet that is just like a side character. Like they all kind of have their importance, where you got Matt Damon, main character, you got Ben Affleck, somehow, like, I guess you would put him as a side character, but even him, he's just another main character. The morals that come along with it, that it teaches you and everything, like, it's one of those movies where originally you don't know where it's going to take you, and then even at the end you're just like, oh, is this where it ends? It's just really good, and like everything that it teaches you, and it's a Robin Williams movie, so like anytime you just need like someone talking through the camera, where you're just like, oh, he's talking to us, he's not talking to the actors and stuff. And plus it's so quotable, where like a lot of the lines in the movie will like follow forth into other things. Like you can quote it and not be like, oh, you got that from a movie. You could just quote that and be like, oh, he got that from someone else and everything.
That's fair. That's fair. You see that video of Robin Williams with Coco the gorilla?
Yes.
He was just one of those. He was one of those presences that
right.
that was interspecies.
Yeah. It's like
even the gorillas liked him.
Yeah. Well, that's how you know, dude. If they're even chill with you, like, you know you've made it.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. All right, so then number 3?
Number 3 is, in my opinion, fully biased. I feel like it kind of has to be. I have to say Spider-Man 2 for the fact that it started everything for me. It was my first movie ever. It was my first superhero movie. Like, if it wasn't for that movie, I don't think I would have entered any of like the genres that I'm into now. Where it's like, even though it was my first movie, so I didn't get a fair chance at any movie, like this is just what I'm watching, like and it's a great first movie to start. Like if that's where you're starting your journey of like watching infinite movies and superhero, that's a pretty good first movie to watch.
Yeah, the Spider-Man trilogy.
Right? And like
pretty good stuff.
Well, and that's the hard part too, is like, I feel like most of them are pretty interchangeable, where you're like, oh, this could be first, or this could be first, but that second one, like, I feel like you take something away from it, something new from it every time you watch it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
That's fair.
And now, what is your question?
Oh, all right.
Your turn. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have a copy of the itinerary.
This is where we're fighting. It's okay.
Hey, you calm down. All right. So my question is, if AI continues to progress, and the option to make a clone of yourself in AI format becomes a reality, would you do it? And if you choose to, what would you use it to do?
You want to answer?
And let's imagine that it has. I'd like to hear your answer, and then I'll tell you what mine is for. But we're also imagining that it's able to, like, use a computer on its own and things like that. Like it's a fairly advanced.
So it's a
like,
computer using
possible,
a computer.
Yeah, it has full agency over the digital world, right?
Okay.
We're not going to say it. No, it has your capabilities.
Take its thumb off and then use its thumb as a thumb drive.
It has your capabilities. It is able to match your technical prowess.
Okay.
It is a perfect copy of yourself in digital format. So it can't do anything physical, but digitally, it can be there. What would you
Uh,
would you choose to allow these companies to make a clone of you, a perfect clone for your personal use?
do I have to do anything? Like, do I have to go somewhere and then I answer some
No, no,
questions
no,
and stuff?
no, no. We're imagining that it's able to just like scan. Like maybe you have to
Exist.
go to a location and get a scan done, and then boom,
Okay.
a
Right.
couple weeks delivered to your email. You
I would
download your
say
personal AI clone of yourself.
I would say yes, because I'd want I'd use it as a second me, where I would have it like sit there and just kind of learn, where it'll be at my house and I'll be like, hey, I'm going to work, you're gonna clean the room, but tell me how you did it and report back, and I'm gonna say like the most effective way of doing this, or like the most like organized way of cleaning this, like easiest way to understand this, where you understand it, because then I'll understand it. So I'm gonna use it as like a tool where it's like, all right, you drive home and to work and back, and see how long it takes you to find me a quicker route and stuff like that. And then like I can use that same algorithm, and we can just keep trading off, where it's like, all right, we're gonna keep finding the fastest ways of doing stuff, and we're gonna like trade ideas and trade notes. Like I'd literally just use it as like a stunt double, where it's like, all right, how did work go for you? What should I not do when I go to work?
See, I think your options or what you choose to do with it says a lot more about yourself than my answer. I think for me, what I would do, if I could clone myself and create an AI format, is I would just find a remote job and then have my AI do that job for me, right? So I have infinite freedom, right? And then once it clocks out of its day job, right? Boom,
Yeah.
I have a second PC that I have it hop on to then enter my
System-like.
ranked matches on any game I play, so that I have at least one other good player on the team every time, if I'm not already queuing with someone.
But see, that's where I'm at too, though, because I'm helping it find the best solutions. So if it gets really good at video games, it can then teach me games and everything.
Well,
Like,
it's a perfect clone of yourself. So I'm already nice. I'm goated with the sauce. So now I have a second one that's only going to get better.
right.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. See, you would
Well,
use it to try to enhance your current life, and see, you're still talking about going to work. Me, I'm putting the AI to work for me. That boy's clocking in 9 to 5
yeah, but
on a
then also
virtual
if it's
job.
like me, I know that it's gonna like you don't get burnt out. You work 7 days a week, 25 days a day.
25 days a day, I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true
This guy,
actually.
this guy works
I
then some.
see. I remember once hearing that there's no need to run a day in a 24-hour cycle. I could wake up at 9 and then work until noon, and that's 1 day of work. And then
Well,
I
every
go
60
noon to
seconds
3.
in
That's
Africa, a minute
another.
goes by. So
That's true. I have
Yeah.
heard that actually. But we might need to get a source on that, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
it's all right. My dad can fact check us in the comments.
I
Right.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your next question then?
Well, I got one more for yours. So with
Okay,
that
okay.
too, if it's the perfect clone, if you have a hint of jealousy as a personality trait,
Mm-hmm.
and then you find yourself a girl,
Yeah.
does it then get jealous that you have the girl and it doesn't? Are you guys sharing the girl? What's
No. I think what I would do, right, is I would just have my girl go do the same scan. I would pay for it, of course, and then just like get an AI version of her, and then they can be the two. I can get my AI and
so
AI
then
girlfriend.
literal double life? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He could like chat with it in his free time, so he doesn't like go insane or something.
Right. Okay.
You feel me?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Easy solution.
Right.
Because the worst case scenario is that you create Ultron, because that'd just be
Right.
unfortunate. But regardless,
Don't let it watch Minecraft YouTube.
of course not.
So my next one is actually involving technology too, and I bring forth to you, what do you think the next big tech invention is? So we've had like AI breakthroughs, we've had like virtual reality breakthroughs, a lot of this stuff. But what's the next like big like everyday thing?
The next big everyday thing?
Yeah, like what's
Uh,
the like for
I
instance
mean,
going from flip phone to iPhone, etc., etc.
yeah. I think that in like what will actually happen next still involves AI.
Okay.
I think that is where most of the progress is going to be made because it's the first time in human history recorded that we are actually attempting to create something that is smarter than ourselves.
Right.
And the second we get like that truly figured out, it's going to be able to push new technological advancements out faster than we are by simply
Right.
giving it the right training data
Yeah.
and allowing it to experiment with like control over various like scientific machines. It'll be able to actually come to its own conclusions about like different medical advancements and things like that. So I still think it involves AI, but I think more specifically, like what it will be that pushes it over that line is a concept called AGI, or artificial general intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically the next step in what we have. Right now, everything is basically an LLM, or a
Mm-hmm.
like language learning model.
Right.
It essentially just does its best to respond in a certain manner using the data that it has.
Right.
That's currently what it does. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't truly think on its own.
And it
It
doesn't like
only
remember.
reacts. It does remember. You can have them set to remember a certain amount of like training data,
Right.
but but it doesn't think and come to its own conclusions on its own time. You have to input something, and then it'll sit there and it'll work at it,
Yeah. And
and then it'll
analyze
come to a
everything.
conclusion. But it
Right.
doesn't currently constantly think about a problem the way that humans do. Like even
Right.
whenever you have a big like problem, or uh, not even necessarily a bad problem, it could be a good problem, something you're trying to solve, right? It'll sit in the
Yeah.
back of your mind all day, and you're constantly like thinking about it like every once in a while. Where an AI, if it can't solve something immediately, simply shuts down the notion of solving it and says that
Right.
it's not capable of doing it. Artificial general intelligence is the next step in that, where it actually tries to create solutions to problems that it can't solve on its own.
Right.
So I think that once we figure out where, like, how to actually create that, that's the next biggest technological advancement. So
Yeah.
what do you think it'll be then?
I think I my hope, I guess, is that I kind of, well, not even like a hope, because like just I kind of think that we're gonna try and find a way to get out of the glass age where things are no longer like screens and they're more communication. I think instead of picking up my phone, typing in a phone number, hey, what's up, dude? Or even a, hey Siri, do this. I don't think we're gonna have that. I literally think we are gonna be walking around, because meta glasses are a thing. I think we'll be like walking around and my glasses will be like calling, Gary is calling, and I'll be like, hey, what's up? And it'll be, hey. And we don't have to hit a button or anything. We want to boot up our laptop, it's just, alright, like, you open it up and then it's like, hey, what you doing today? And it has like profiles, like it kind of like scans you and it's like, okay, that's you. Kind of like how they're doing the ID thing now, where you gotta scan your license or whatever to get into your social media. I think it's gonna be something like that, where it's got a profile saved on you.
Okay. Okay. So more specifically, you're saying wearable technology
Well,
is
just kind of
going
tech in
to
general. I kind of think
improve.
that's where we're going, where like hey, what's the
Okay,
weather
so you
today? It
think
just tells you.
you think that technology and ease of use is really what people are going to be
Yeah, so
focusing
then
on
people with
next.
disabilities that like can't move their arms or stuff like that, they no longer have to have a unique tool that is certain to them and is going to cost them a lot of money. I think instead we're just going to have universal technology where I buy the same thing you buy, where like very much so, where it's like you get in the car and then it like knows that it's you, where it's like select a profile in the car and then it adjusts your seat and all that stuff for you. And like I think things are going to be more catered to you because like what you said with AI, I think it's going to start to like remember people, and like I think it's going to start to have more memory input where,
So
oh,
you think
even stuff like toasters where I put bread in the toaster, it's gonna be like, oh, well, Michael likes his toast like just a little bit burnt, but Gary, he likes his more in the middle.
so what you want is Ultron, but for your house and your appliances,
I
and
don't
it
want
it,
it.
it
I just
knows
think that's
you.
where we're going.
It knows like so. Okay, so that would mean that there is a central information center that all of these devices pool their collective data about you into
And I
this
think I have to
one
turn my phone off,
AI.
but I think it's gonna be Google. Because who doesn't use Google now? No one uses
Right,
Yahoo or
right,
anything like
right.
that.
I mean, Google or any of the other
Well, I keep
data
saying Google because
brokers
they're
are
already
have
like
been one of the most profitable like industries and like types of companies to work for has been data brokers because
sure, yeah,
the sheer amount of like buyout of data that these big companies are like big companies are willing to spend a lot of money just to have a tiny bit more information about their customer base because
yeah,
it what a big company can do with information compared to a small company, it's just
hmm
massive differences. So
right,
when smaller companies end up like take Pokemon Go, right?
right,
Pokemon Go collected a massive amount of walking data, and now it's actually being trained. Like the data is finally being used.
right,
They are using it to actually train AI and other like GPS navigation services to create better and more efficient walking routes
right.
because there are like how do people get from one place to another, and when these Pokemon appear in a place, people are trying to get there as fast as possible. What
Right.
routes do people take, and who actually gets there the fastest has
Right.
been they've been collecting that in the shadows for a decade,
Yeah.
and now it's finally being used to actually spread all of that. So I think it'll be one of the major companies, but you're saying that it, all technology, assuming that there's proper privacy around it, which I think
Right.
could be Apple,
Well, that's
would
kind of
be
why I was
one of the
discussing like the
first.
house and like the car and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Apple is already on their way to doing that with things like Apple Intelligence,
Right.
because Apple Intelligence for like the newest iPhones and iMacs and all of that, right?
Right.
They are focused on creating an ecosystem
Yeah.
where between all of those devices, it remembers your preferences. There's a constant AI agent in the background of all of those watching what you do and trying to optimize things for you. That already exists, so it's possible that Apple could be the first to try to spread it to more devices.
Yeah, because we already have the Apple Watch, all this stuff. I think it's gonna be very like, I think it's gonna be more personalized, where and like it'll
Okay.
remember like I think of it less of like an Ultron where it's like, oh no, but more, well, I guess still Ultron, but like I think it's gonna be more of a Jarvis situation where it's like Jarvis when he's dying in Age of Ultron's 10-year-old spoiler here. Um, I think it's gonna be something like that where like it remembers you. It's like, yeah, you always took care of me. So like people that are jerks to AI, it's like no. Like yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I
yeah,
think
that's
that's
fair.
how you get an Ultron, is when people are like, you're like, go make me a sandwich. But I think we are smart enough, with lack of a better term, to understand that we can't go completely AI, where it's like, go drive to the store and get me some frozen pizza. I think we're gonna have a little bit where like the AI is like, hey, you haven't gotten off the couch in a little bit. go for a walk. As a human, you need this.
So we're creating the Wii Fit trainer.
Yes.
All right, we're back to Wii Fit.
Well, that's the thing. Everything starts back at the beginning. Like, think about like it's the same thing like with streaming services, where like it started off and it's like, oh, no commercials, and you just get to watch all this stuff. That's awesome. Now it's like buy a bundle and there's commercials, all this stuff, and it's like, oh wow, it's TV.
Yep, we circled right back to
I think
it.
that's what it's gonna be, where we just keep recycling things, where it's just, oh, wow, it's what we had before. What a surprise.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what I think, right, for my next question,
Sure.
right? My question is, who is closer to becoming Lex Luthor, Putin or Bezos? I'll let you answer first, and then I'll give my opinion.
I'll give it a little bit more of an educated guess. If we're going specifically Lex Luthor, I'll give you both. Where it's like,
who's closer to becoming Lex Luthor?
I think that honestly, it's more. I feel like it's gonna be more Bezos, because I feel as though Bezos still has a little bit of humanity, where if something happens, he'll go, oh, that kind of sucks. Where like if his son dies, he'll be like, oh man, my son died. Meanwhile, I feel like Putin, if his son died, he'll be like, yeah, alright, whatever.
What's 18 more years?
Yeah, like I don't think
Can always start again.
Right.
Have another kid.
Exactly. Like I think he's very, very much like that. And like
But they are both bald.
and one of them very much does evil laugh. And the other one is very much
That's
military
what I'm
trained.
saying. Yeah, Bezos. Bezos does have the evil
And he's-
laugh. See, I personally, I think it is Bezos.
Really?
I think Bezos is
Okay.
closer. Mostly because of the field that he is in.
Sure.
I think he owns a company that is big enough to have the funding to align itself with it. Well, first of all, Amazon's taking over many industries. They're trying to branch into literally everything.
Yeah.
Right? Which means that inevitably they're going to be involved with things like weapons manufacturing, and when they get an active drone network online for delivering packages,
Right.
it's also going to be reconnaissance.
Yeah.
It's going to be all sorts of things that are going to have massive ties with national security and defending and all of that. But at the same time, it's a lot of power in the hands of one individual plus a board of people who may or may not agree with him on different matters.
Right.
So and we heard the laugh. We all heard the laugh
Yeah.
when he was at that like demonstration of like
The tech arms.
Yeah, robotic
yeah.
arms. Yeah, the big robotic arms. We saw what he was looking like with that technology. You're telling me in his free time, with his billions of dollars, he's not trying to build a mech? He's not trying to build a mech suit that he can like have in the background? Yeah, right. I know he's
Well,
got
we don't have one generalized superhero to like stand up against. Unless you're saying that Mr. Beast is going to be Superman.
Mr. Beast is Superman.
Well, who else has the money?
He's too busy selling. He's not stealing candy from babies. He's selling candy to babies.
Yes.
That's what he's working on.
And he's also putting people into
This
a
guy's got-
burning building and then going, you get the money out of the burning building, you get 50 grand. It's like, or I'll die.
Nah, Mr. Beast is closer to becoming Jigsaw.
Yes. Absolutely. He already has the team for it.
You want to play a game?
I
That's
can
what
see
he's gonna
Carl
do.
on the
That's what
strike
he's
now.
already halfway
Yeah.
there. Like, imagine Mr. Beast when he's like 80 and he gets like dementia, right? And he starts going off the deep end. He just starts putting his money towards like insane like shows.
Chris will be the first one on the show.
They're bringing out Chandler.
No, we're not that good, little Christian boy. I like his Bible verses that he reads on Instagram.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched a Mr. Beast video in a while, but I just see that they become more deranged.
It's progressively getting worse, where it's like, I'm in a car that's going 200 miles an hour, and it's about to go off a bridge. How will I get out? And it's like, you won't? What do you mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. So what do you have for your second question then, if we've decided that Bezos is closer? Well, I think.
No, we're on the third. We're on the third question now. The second one was the big tech invention.
Yeah.
So
I
question 3 would be fitting for 3. What are the 3 people you want to get on here most to interview?
Who are the 3 people I'd like to get on here most?
Hey guys, quick interruption here. Yeah, so we kind of go off the rails with this question and don't answer it as honestly as we probably would. So this is going to go absolutely off the rails, and real quick, I just wanted to give you my real answer. Number 1 stays my dad. That part's accurate. But then number 2 is WWE wrestler Mick Foley. Love to have him on the podcast. That is like an absolute dream. I had the blessing to meet him on Father's Day this year. Absolutely wonderful man, and I really hope that somehow, some way, we can make some magic happen and I get to interview him. And then in third place, honestly, like anyone from Marvel, but like if I had to pick, I gotta go with someone like Andrew Garfield or Hugh Jackman. I can't stick to just one. It's one of those two. But yeah, just wanted to butt in real quick and give you a heads up that this just goes off the walls, and we don't really answer the questions honestly as you think, but that's what you signed up for, and I'm sure you also want the real answers. So yeah, there's those. All right, back to the video.
I think number 1, we need I don't think we need Bezos. I think the first person we need to get on here would probably be Loluzi Vert.
Okay.
I just have some questions about his satanic practices and also his music in recent years.
You can interview him.
I think I need to speak to him about the fact that he hasn't dropped like anything good recently. And then I think after that, I think we need this is a tough one, but I think we need the new pope.
Oh, he's from Chicago. We absolutely need the new pope.
We need his opinion on various matters. Yes. He needs to do one of those like propaganda podcasts with us where we ask him a bunch of really humanizing questions that then make people think, oh wait, he's just a guy.
And now he can get away with anything he wants.
He's a helldiver now. Wow. Yeah. Though I would say for number 3, there is a guy who lives in the tunnels around Boulder, Colorado, and it's an old man who's named King Wook. And King Wook is low-key goated. He's a chill dude.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him when I was out there. He's a pretty smart guy at that. I've seen him in other interviews, and I don't know. He's an interesting guy because he's one of those people who clearly chooses to be homeless.
I mean, you know.
And he just exists.
Country boys make do, I guess.
He just exists. Like he's plenty intelligent. He could definitely get a job.
But is he self-aware?
But he just chooses. Yeah, he just chooses to be homeless, and he's just like this nice guy who just like hangs out in Boulder. I don't know. I feel like he has very interesting perspectives on things.
Fair.
Need to figure out what he's done with his life.
Fair.
So then, who would your be? Who would be your
number 1, without question, my dad. We get the man, the myth, the legend of self.
Yeah.
And he's only in first place because he has to be. He was the first subscriber. He's the one who started this whole game.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
Been here since day 1.
So obvious number 1, but who gets a close second?
Number 2. But you know what? I'm gonna steal yours. We're going with the Pope.
we need
Yeah,
a pope? Okay.
I think we just generally need a pope on our podcast.
Yeah, I think a pope would do big numbers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
I think the pope would do. Pope would be big. Pope would be big for the program. I don't know how we're gonna get him here from Italy, because he's gonna have to talk through my mic. I'm not gonna buy a
No,
PC,
we can go to Italy. It's all right. My sister's been there a couple times now.
So he, I mean, yeah, he could hang out at my house, the Pope, like if he wants. Like, I don't know, I'll send him a DM later,
right.
see what he's up to.
Yeah, at Big Pope.
Yeah. Wait, Big Pope or Big Pharmacy?
That's for next week.
Do not talk about Big Pharmacy. Your channel's gonna get demonetized.
I'm sure it already is. I referenced my dad.
Oh no, that guy built half of Washington D.C.
Yeah.
That's all I've heard.
Right?
Built it himself,
brick by brick. I think third place has to be. So here's the hard one, man. Like, for third one, we need a big hitter, and I think with all the hell going on in the world, I think he's gonna cash in his money in the bank, and I think we should get Obama himself. I think we should get Barack Obama on the pod. He can bring Michelle too. We can have a plus one.
Well, if overturns the amendment that makes it so that a president cannot run more than twice,
then we're definitely getting Obama.
Obama's gonna run back. He's gonna spin back. He's gonna spin the block twice like there's nowhere to park.
The Hall of Fame of wrestling, so they'll duke it out.
He's also in the Gaming Hall of Fame.
None of this is making it into the episode.
He's in the Gaming Hall of Fame. It's true.
I think we need Barack Obama as
by
well.
Gaming, it means gambling.
I think.
Well, dude, they have a Minecraft server. Them, Biden, Obama.
Oh, that's what. No, dude, listen. There's a LAN party every inauguration. Let me tell you.
They have a Minecraft server. I've heard them talk. It can't be AI.
No, I've seen them at the funeral. They were smiling.
It was way too real. They were chatting it up.
Dude, they were talking about chords. They were like, "Yo, where's the end portal?"
Yeah. Hey man, by the way, did you see they're changing the requirements for Eyes of Ender? Dude, don't talk about this right now, bro. Kamala's looking at us.
Biden, wake up. Biden, wake up. What?
Huh? Well, it's good that, well,
memes.
The point we're trying to get to is, well, you know what I mean.
Puerto Rico's best export, like, and Bad Bunny doesn't even begin to, like, get anywhere close to Joe Biden, and I'll fight you.
But they're eating the cats and the dogs, is what you're forgetting about.
Now, which Puerto Rican would you rather have on the pod? Like, think about think about it. Bad Bunny or Bad Biden? Like, come on.
Can we get Jamaican Biden?
We can get whatever Biden we can get. I don't care if it's gonna be like his great grandkid. I don't care. We gotta get Biden on the pod.
Do you think that if AI starts becoming too advanced, right? And we're concerned that it's going to turn into a Ultron situation and it's going to just take over. Do you think that the correct, route to take would be to upload Biden's consciousness into it and like cancel it out from the inside?
I think the best way of dealing,
because it would definitely shut down.
I think the best way of dealing with it is just have it be Biden's speech coach.
It would just become so infuriated that it would just end its own programming.
Yeah,
it would just terminate. Yeah. Wow. He Alt F4'd himself. He was such a young AI too.
Task manager and he shut down.
All right. So, anyways, for my third question,
a little bit off the rail. That's all right.
For my third question, I have. Oh, it's a good thing we were talking about the Gaming Hall of Fame. Will the hero shooter genre of video games ever die? It started with, TF2,
sure,
and maybe even something before that. But I think with Overwatch and then Marvel
And then
Rivals.
Overwatch 1.5.
It feels like a game, and then many other games implement hero shooter tactics and gameplay designs into their games.
Yeah.
So the question is, will that genre ever die? Because it feels like it's every few years, maybe 5,
So
maybe
by
10,
die, do you
somebody
mean
drops a
player
new
base of
hero
0?
shooter. By die, I mean nobody's making it as a type of game anymore. Like think back to arcade games and things like that, where you've got your Tetris, you've got your Pac-Man. Nobody's making games that are like those these days.
Listen, I got a Tetris score of 1.5 million. Listen, I know my way around a Tetris.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is people don't make games in that same style anymore, especially not mass like major companies. Indie developers will still continue to make whatever their heart desires. But major companies do not invest their time into projects like that with that kind of gameplay. So the question is, will the hero shooter genre ever really die, or will it continue in a more evolved format with virtual reality and haptic feedback and all sorts of things like that are gonna change the way we play games via input? The same way that we went from the joystick on the machine to a gaming PC and a mouse and keyboard layout. When that changes, the styles of games that get created, will having new input methods kill off the hero shooter genre by creating more enticing and more interesting games that use the newer formats of input, or not, is my question.
I think it'll merge.
Or rather, that's what I think it's going to come down to.
I think it'll merge with first-person shooters. I think it'll ultimately just turn into a Battlefield situation where you have this set criteria, but it's not defined. Where in Battlefield you can have multiple medics and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's still medic. You're still a medic.
That's true. That's true. But the hero shooter genre is already fairly wide, right? And its themes stretch pretty far. So I don't think it's ever really gonna, at least in my lifetime,
what's another 3 years?
People aren't going to stop making. Yeah, I got at least 3. People aren't going to stop making hero shooter style games.
Right.
I don't think they're going to for a very long time. I think every 5 years, like I said earlier, somebody's going to drop one and it's going to become #1 most played worldwide.
Well, and I think it'll also succeed out of spite, where people will be like, "Oh, this is just a Rivals clone," and then people that will respond to that and say that's just a clone of Overwatch.
No, it upgraded this versus which is a copy of TF2, which
I think it's just gonna be that repeated.
It keeps going back.
And I think people are gonna play it out of spite, where it's like, "Oh, well, I like this better," and it's like, "Well, I like this better," and I think it's the same thing as Battlefield versus Call of Duty. It's a stupid argument that will never end, where it's like they're not even similar. Yeah.
That's fair.
You can't compare Genji to Hawkeye, stuff like that. What are you yapping?
I agree.
So I think if it doesn't die from merging, I think it'll just continue to evolve and survive out of spite.
All right. I can see that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it'll really depend on whether we unlock new ways of playing games. Imagine if you had a video game that temporarily reset your memory, and
man, I love
you remember
Sword Art
everything
Online.
afterwards. But when you enter it, it spawns you into a new environment that you get new information gets auto dropped into your head. You got to use the Neuralink for this thing.
Man, I already.
New information gets automatically dropped into your head the second you spawn into the game. You're just there with an objective. Like imagine you just wanted to feel like it was like what it was like to be a early England or rather Europe like knight going into battle. And it just spawns you into a like hyper realistic thing after like going to sleep. You have no memory until afterwards.
Yeah, you better not fall asleep
where
first
you then
at the sleep
remember
over
the
there,
entirety of the thing. First at the sleepover, who puts on the VR goggles? Oh God. But yeah, no, I think it'll take like a massive change in input method for games for the hero shooter genre to even have a chance of dying. We have to create something even better, which I don't think we can do right now outside of like, creating other styles of games that attract different player bases.
Well, so then I follow up.
I think they'll continue to exist.
That. Do you see a certain style of game dying soon? Like soon, I'd say within 5 years. Do you see a certain genre of video game dying?
I don't think so within 5 years. Well, it's tough to say because dying, I think we'd have to define it as like, a very, very minimal player base that or
I'd say sub
style of game
10,000.
that's just not produced
I'd say sub
anymore.
10,000, like active players at all times.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough because we're kind of building up,
right?
In terms of like how like the styles of games that we produce. We build off of our previous knowledge, which is why we create different and new styles, which then makes it tough for old things to really die.
Yeah.
But if one were to, I don't think people are going to ever try to create more things that work in the I think it's MOBA style. So like League and like Dota.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's gonna try to make one of those because it's basically those two that just run everything,
Right.
at least I think. I don't think anybody's gonna try to produce any of those, which means I think that they'll eventually die. Because nobody's gonna try to compete with them. And they're gonna run out those like Riot Games, which owns League, and then whoever owns Dota, they are going to run those games out until there is nobody left who wants to play something remotely similar to them.
Right.
So I'd have to say it'd be one of those. It can't be within 5 years. I think it's impossible for those to die within 5 years. But nobody else is going to try to make any of them, which means that they are dying.
Well, so that's the interesting part too, is we're kind of losing that with this new wave of people that play video games, because video games have always had a bit of essence of nostalgia, where they always try to capitalize on the past. And this current crop of people that play video games, I don't feel like they'll have nostalgia. Like, where you walk up to a kid nowadays and like look at what they're playing on their tablet, it's like Roblox or Fortnite, like very sandbox games. So you can't really get a nostalgia from it. Like, for instance, you can get nostalgia from Minecraft because like you remember your first night surviving and everything. But with
you're saying, okay,
yeah,
I get what you're saying. So you think that the sandbox style of games where the kind of one game fits all, where like Roblox, you can like literally play.
I think that's going to be the norm, and then everything else is going to be the subgenre, where like.
Well, yeah, I mean that's part of what made Epic make Fortnite so successful. Was one, they did really well in the early like battle royale style of like games. They dropped a banger early. Early Fortnite was peak, right?
I've done one round. I'll take your
word. What they really did, early Fortnite before like there was all the like turbo building and people building skyscrapers and like just the sweatiest game imaginable. When nobody knew what they were doing, that game was peak.
Right.
But what really made the game blow up was adding the sandbox and the creative modes.
Right.
That's what's kept not as much blow up, but rather keep it relevant for so long, because it allows people to literally create what they want, which means that the developers at Epic don't have to guess what their audience wants.
Yeah.
They know what their audience wants. They know what their audience likes because they're making it for themselves.
Yeah, it's the same thing that they said in the Minecraft release trailer. In the Minecraft release trailer, they literally said that the only limitation is your creativity. Yeah.
Right, and so the sandbox style just goes for so long because you can just keep making things on there. So yeah, but you're saying that removes some of the nostalgia from some of these things because it's gonna feel like every game is all games.
Yes, because like you play Black Ops 6, for instance. They'll give you an operator skin, and that operator is Mason, or it's Ghost, and it's like, oh, I remember playing Modern Warfare. I remember playing BO2. This is awesome. Or they added round-based zombies back, and everyone's like, oh, I remember playing Black Ops 2, yeah, and stuff like that. Like, I think we don't have that anymore, where it's just more so like, man, remember when we were playing this?
You don't think kids are playing enough story-style games,
yeah.
That is what you're really saying.
Just any of that.
There's not enough story-style games being played, because that's fair, because I remember playing quite a bit of, I played a lot of Destiny 1, which was heavy story intensive.
Well, and there's nothing that shines out. You don't sit there. I remember I gained an attachment to previously said.
None of these games have really deep like lore.
Yeah, where like no one from
like,
no one
they're very basic.
Fortnite and is like, oh, I remember. Because everyone's like, oh, well, I remember Tilted Towers, this, that, and the other. But there's no, like...
They remember the map, right? But they don't... There's no storyline. There's no character development. None of that is what you're saying. And that creates more... people who judge games on a more shallow scale. Yeah,
because then you get a lot of the parents that sit there and they go, oh, well, video games are just corrupting my kid. And we're losing that fight of... But I learned valuable lessons through playing this, where it's like, or I was told such great stories through this and stuff like that.
That's fair. That's fair.
And so you sit there and go, Mom, look, I spent $5 of your dollars on your credit card for this working like emote, like no.
Yeah. Okay, I think the only saving grace, right, is gonna be that a lot of these games involve some kind of like competitive shooter aspect in one of its like many facets of the game. So I think that once you get older, you get worse at those kinds of games because you just can't compete with like the 16-year-olds. So I think it'll eventually drive people back to story-based games because those have a very consistent audience usually. Because there's just a certain genre of people who play games that almost exclusively will just play single-player games. Like they'll play all of like the God of War franchise or something like that, but they're not really interested in you know in like Fortnite or in COD or in any of those like massive,
especially with all the
games.
Microtransactions now too. Like
that's true. There's something nice about like a one-time purchase, a download, and then you just go.
Well, and like a lot of games don't
Although
have
there was
that.
also something nice about not having to do a download and just simply putting the disc in and then running.
Well, that's the hard part too. Is like a lot of games.
That's for a different day.
Well, and a lot of those games are losing their replayability because you go in hell even like 3 years, you're not going to be able to go back to Black Ops 6. It won't exist because it's all live service.
That's
and
true.
You want to
if it's all live service,
and if you want to go back to a game like there's no proof of anything where it's like, oh, this happened or that happened, like so many games now just kind of cease to exist, and it's like kind of becoming a problem where it's kind of like the physical media, digital media argument, but like kind of worse because like all of these games just they again, you can't cash in that nostalgia.
That's fair.
Like there's nothing there to, like these games now and everything.
It's understandable.
Yeah, like I feel and like because a lot of games have an end update where it's like this is the last update. Terraria, for instance, has this is the last update, but you can still go back and you can play that final model of the game. Meanwhile, with BO7, it's like the servers are down. Sorry, can't play it.
That's true, but I mean, that's just been the way it is with. I mean, the problem is certain games that are multiplayer games. They do have a nostalgia effect once they're gone, but it's rather you just remember the gameplay of it because some games only work when they have a massive player base. That's simply the way that it works. Like, especially for competitive games, you need people that have massive skill disparities all playing at the same time in order for things to even remotely go. Right? And so then, as those games develop, eventually they die. Eventually less people play them. Right? And then they eventually have to shut down because of that. I feel like a lot of these companies, maybe not the COD franchise, because, you know, they always have to make a new one, but a lot of these live service games want to continue for as long as they can. It's just a matter of can they keep the player base.
Right, and will the player base be happy with their decision? Yeah.
Right.
Because a lot of them... Well, and
so
like, that's
the
hard part, too, is I feel like a lot of games nowadays... I almost want to say that they're afraid to take risks, where it's like, oh, sandbox game. Okay, cool, we'll do that. And then we'll have our own art style. No one's kind of doing something new, where it's just a rehash of what we've already done. Where, like, God of War, like what you said before, they took a big risk because they were like, alright, we're going to put Kratos on the back burner now. We're going to let Atreus be the forefront, and like that was really daring. It was like, I don't know about that. Like, God of War was built on Kratos, and like there's no more like betting really. It's just kind of, oh, if we do micro transactions, people will complain, but they'll still buy it. Like, they kind of treat their player base like fools, where it's just like, we could do the worst thing ever, but it's the only Call of Duty, so they're gonna buy it because there's no other Call of Duty.
That's fair. That's fair. But I also think that COD is a dying franchise.
COD is on its way out. I can 100%.
I think that they're setting a bad precedent, but it's also a really easy alley-oop for competitors.
I think 6 was kind of the last straw with COD. I think people were like, alright, this is fun, and then it went back into the, oh, this is just another Call of Duty. And like, now that 7's coming out, they're like, wait, I thought you were doing away with the yearly releases. And it's like,
well,
you lost the trust they had.
Yeah, the yearly releases are a problem because ultimately it should be a you pay. I think microtransactions should only exist in a game that is free.
Yes.
It should be it should be. Microtransactions should not make the game easier in any capacity.
Couldn't agree further with that part.
But they should. It should basically just be cosmetics, right? In microtransactions. Exactly. But if you're gonna do that, it better be a free game. It better be like, oh, you know, I've played 100 hours of this game and it's free, right? Yeah. If I spend $5 on a skin for the game, I really don't feel that bad about it because I didn't pay anything for the game in the first place. Yeah. But then you get Call of Duty out here making you pay $60 to $100 a year for their yearly release to then also, if you want any of the cool skins, also have to pay money afterwards. Just doesn't seem to add up to me. So I think they're on their way out for that reason. They just don't know how to actually keep their
Yeah, I
player
was just
base
gonna say
happy
they keep burning trust
slightest.
too, where it's just like, all right, can you stop doing that?
Yeah, no. Yeah, they're on their way out for those reasons. But that's all I really think about it.
So, final thoughts.
So, do you have anything else planned for this pilot episode?
Nothing too crazy. Gonna try to make this weekly, but who knows, maybe bi-weekly, depending how busy we both are. We always find some time anyway, but yeah, this was always the first run through, and we might even switch up where we do it 2 times a week. Who knows? We'll try and have guests here and there.
Alrighty.
Anything you got for a final send-off?
No, not too much. Just remember to get your money up, but also get your funny up.
And hit the like button, Dad.
The all-time quote is just a real. Yeah, we need at least 1 like on
Please,
this video.
Dad, please.
Otherwise, there won't be an episode 2
or an episode 1. We won't even upload this.
The video's getting taken down if it goes 24 hours without a like.
And if it hits 3 likes, well, Gary has to interview the Pope by himself. He has to have a one-on-one in the confessional with the Pope.
Oh no. I'm gonna live stream it too on Kick.
No, don't go on Kick. No, you'll get in a Lamborghini crash and you'll make me film it. Because I'm bleeding.
And then I'm not even gonna ask if you're okay. Just bleeding out. Reminds me of someone else who bled out. But that's
and
a story
that's
for
all,
another
folks.
time.
Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.